Well, new polling suggests the race for U.S. Senate here in South Carolina could be tighter in the upcoming midterms than we've seen in years. A generic Democratic candidate trails Senator Lindsey Graham by just 3 points. And our Cameron Lime spoke with political experts about what these early numbers mean. Cameron?
Tessa, these poll numbers are still very early, but experts say they're already revealing. They tell me that this could shape up to be one of the most engaged Senate elections in recent South Carolina history.
But people are going to follow this and ask hard questions about the people who have entered the races.
New public policy poll shows Senator Lindsey Graham leading a generic Democratic candidate by just 3 points. Only 14% of voters surveyed say Graham should be re-elected, and 73% say it's time for someone new. Dr. Mark Owens, a political science professor at the Citadel, says the numbers reflect how closely voters are watching this race. Democratic candidate Dr. Annie Andrews says the results show frustration across the political spectrum.
And this poll tells us that whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, you recognize we need a new voice.
The poll also shows Andrews trailing Graham by nearly 8 points. Voters expressed concerns about Graham's vote to end the Affordable Care Act tax credits, a move that could raise health care costs for thousands of South Carolinians. Just 26% approve of his performance on health care. Owen says that level of attention could signal a highly active Senate race.
This is going to be an engaged election. A lot of voters are already paying attention. That's why the candidates expected this. They jumped into the race.
We reached out to Senator Graham's office for comment. He responded, "We are taking nothing for granted and expect Dr. Andrews to run a competitive race." Andrews believes voters are ready for change.
So the 2026 election is going to be unlike any election we've ever experienced in our lifetimes. Anything is possible, and people are ready for a generational change in leaders.
And according to Dr. Owens, one key indicator on how sure an incumbent feels on their seat in their seat is how much they spend to keep it. The more money they spend on their campaign, the more likely or less likely they are to actually hold that seat.
Okay, so here's a question. So what does that mean for Graham's campaign, and how has his spending been compared to the last time?
Right. Well, it's still far too early right now to tell exactly where they're going to be going for this upcoming election cycle. But we can look back at his race against Jamie Harrison, where both campaigns raised record-breaking amounts. Now, according to the Associated Press, Graham raised about $28 million, which his campaign said was the most ever raised by a Republican Senate candidate in a single quarter in any state. But Democratic challenger Jamie Harrison nearly doubled that total and still came short of flipping the seat. And like we've said, these are still early poll numbers. I can't emphasize that enough. These are very early poll numbers. They often look polarized, but as we get closer to November, we could see that gap tighten as the race becomes even closer.
All right, Cam, great work on that. Thank you.